I got laid off from my corporate job that I've had for the last 2 years.
So I think I'm getting laid off today.
Well, I just lost my job. I just got laid off this morning.
I think we're all about to be laid off.
What's up, financial hawks? So in today's video, we're going to be going over some more tech layoff news. I'm trying to get something again more present kind of going on right now from different people perspectives. It is crazy right now, not only with the tech, but just in the job market in general. This one will be kind of more focused on tech, but again, this will apply to dang near all of the freaking jobs right now, job fields right now, because it's so freaking crazy right now. Like, they're firing people. It's almost the end of the year. It's almost Christmas time, and people are still getting laid off. And on top of that, it's very hard to actually get a job right now. And it's just getting harder and harder. And I'm definitely intrigued to see what we're going to end up seeing in 2025, like with this. I know we do got the elections and everything going on, so I'm not sure if that's going to help out or not help out. But yeah, it's crazy. Again, inflation and everything that's going up, but it seems like everybody's salaries are going down or not really going up that much, especially if you're not able to get into that field that you're trying to get into right now, because you got 1,000 plus other people trying to get into that job. So let's go ahead and start with this first video, and yeah, let's get into it.
I did, but not anymore. From October of last year up until about the end of March of this year, my DMs in LinkedIn were completely dry. And before then, I was usually getting like between 5 to 7 a month of people just like asking for feelers and, go through interview processes, like pretty much on average 5 to 7. April and May, I saw an uptick. I started getting, like maybe 2 or 3 per month. And then for the past like 2 or 3 months, it's been completely dry again.
Okay, interesting. So I never thought about it that way, but that's another way you can kind of see how the job market is based on how many people are trying to hit you up. And I have noticed that with LinkedIn, I have had a downtick in the amount of people hitting me up for jobs. Now, I'd say a lot of like 80%, 90% of these people are like those Indian like scammer people who are like, hey, they hit you up, but it's not like an actual job. They're just trying to get your resume, or they're trying to get you to, I guess, buy one of their courses, certification type thing. I usually get a lot of those. And now I'm not getting as much or anything, regarding the tech side of things. So yeah. It's just crazy. I never thought about that as a good way to kind of see the market. I'm pretty sure if the market was very hot right now and everybody getting jobs, I'm pretty sure I would get a lot more recruiters and different people hitting me up in my DMs or my emails trying to get me a job. So yeah, I definitely try to see you guys. Are you guys getting like an uptick or a downtick in the amount of people hitting you up in your DMs, like on LinkedIn or your email, like your personal email about jobs? I'm pretty sure it's probably a downtick for a lot of you guys, but I'm intrigued to see if there's an uptick for anybody. I'm very interested to see about that. Let's go ahead and play this next one here.
Being unemployed right now, or recently being laid off, or getting signals from your company that your job stability is very uncertain is 100% traumatic. I just went through a several-month layoff due to my company closing and filing for bankruptcy. By the time the announcement was made, all of our devices were logged out and there was nothing else that could be done. And I'm in HR, so I had seen some blood in the water, but I wasn't anticipating the worst of the worst. So what I want to do for you is, I don't want to sell you anything. I don't want to have you sign up for anything. I want to let you know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. You are going to come out on the other side of this. I have done it. And then what it looks like to rebuild. So if you're along the lines of in the throes of job searches, you're not getting interviews. You are getting interviews, but you're not getting offers. You're getting offers, but they're crap. And you have to rearrange your entire life just to even consider taking that offer. But a bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush. I'm here. I have information for you. And then additionally, what does it look like on the other side? So I did have to take a pay cut. I'm still keeping my options open. I have a child that I am the sole provider for as well. So what does childcare look like? What does transportation look like? What do my finances and my debt restructuring look like? I personally am going through a bankruptcy. I'm so happy about it, to be totally honest. And since I had to take a pay cut, what does that mean for my budget? What does it mean for my lifestyle? What does that mean for my future and my ability to invest in my future and myself and my son's future? So I have all these answers for you and more. But I do want to, first of all, offer my condolences to anyone who is experiencing their
Cool. I mean, that was pretty good. And it's crazy that she was actually working in HR and still didn't see, herself getting fired. So yeah, I'm definitely intrigued to see how secretive that company was. But I guess a lot of these companies are very secretive. I've seen several different videos of people, just waking up, and getting a call, getting a meeting, and then, hey, you're fired. Or again, you wake up and you're not able to log in, or you get to the company, you're not able to use your badge or whatnot to get in. So yeah, that's crazy. Layoffs pile up in US and Canada. So yeah, again, this is not just in the US. This is a lot of places. I've been seeing the tech layoffs in Europe and other places as well. So yeah, it's definitely tough. I do like when she talked about there's an end to the tunnel. It's going, and like when you get unemployed, I know it's not going to seem like, oh wow, I'm going to get something super quick or whatnot. It's probably like, very devastating. But again, if you keep pushing through, you can't get through that. You may have to take a pay cut like she did. I've taken pay cuts throughout my career to get to where I'm at now. It happens. But, it's better to keep on grinding and get through that versus just sulking, being down, and not moving anywhere. You want to keep moving. You want to keep improving. Even if you got to take a pay cut maybe for a few months so you can get back on your feet and then grind back harder again. Something you got to do. Just go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and play this next one right here. I'm definitely intrigued to see what she's going to talk about here.
But the tech job market right now is so upside. I personally would not major in computer science, but the tech job market right now is so upside down. I don't even know if it would allow you to have another degree, to be honest with you, because there's some companies that are even saying, we don't want self-taught people. We don't want bootcamp people. We only want this. And entry-level jobs, you're competing with people that have 5-10 years experience. I mean, it's really in the gutter, but I still think tech is needed, right? Even with AI, even with advancements, you still need people that are in software. You still need people that are in security. You still need professionals. I refuse to believe that you don't. But I don't know. I think some Pandora box got open where companies were like, maybe we don't need as much headcount. And then ever since they've been running with it. But I don't know what major to do anymore, or what, like all the things that I used to really believe like a year ago, now I'm questioning it because I don't know how I would go about it, except of course having a huge network, being a huge people person, letting everybody know that you're looking for a job. I would love to hear what you think and what has worked for you and what you think will work in the next 5 years. 'Cause I don't know. Some of this stuff is so bleak.
Yeah. Right now, everything is looking bleak again, not just in the tech sphere, but a lot of different spheres. I definitely want to look at the comments on this one. But the first thing she kind of talked about was she's not for sure if you should go ahead and get a computer science degree. I mean, even though it's bad right now, if you're still in school for computer science, I think you're still good. I think you're still golden. Because again, this is just right now, and the knowledge that you're getting from that is going to definitely look good when you're applying for other tech jobs when you're out of college. And again, it is right now. So if you're graduating like next summer, the job market could definitely be a whole lot different. Or if you're a freshman or a sophomore, 2-3 years from now, it shouldn't be like this right now. Usually all of this is like a big circle. It's ups and downs. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. Right now it's down, but that doesn't necessarily mean that just because it's down right now that you should never go into tech anymore. You should never do computer science anymore. No, that's I guess too much fear mongering there. And like that's what I see. I'm seeing a whole lot of fear mongering with that. If you're currently in computer science, I think that's still a good degree to actually get. Whole lot better than getting basket weaving, underwater basket weaving. And again, you're learning a lot with that. And you can use that computer science degree for a plethora of different fields within tech. So I definitely still recommend that. But let me go ahead and look at some of the comments on this real quick. Oh, and also too, I think at the end, she was kind of talking about, how you can get a job, like having a network. Yeah, network is definitely good. Kind of talked about this, I want to say in one of my other videos about going on LinkedIn and building a network there, kind of talking about different projects and different things that you're doing so that you can kind of get more actual like friends on LinkedIn who can maybe help you out with certain things, or growing a network on social media, maybe on a Discord, different things like that, so that you can constantly improve yourself, improve your talking ability to other people, either through vocally, or you can do it through text, throughout the screen, talking to people through, messages and whatnot. But building up that network can definitely help out as well. Again, applying to different jobs in upskilling yourself, continually learning, continually improving on the way that you can speak towards interviews, maybe watch interview YouTube videos every day. That's what I was doing for a while. Learn the STAR methods so that when they're asking me any questions, I have it down. And just continually improving on yourself and kind of just not feeling sad all the time. But it's not letting me actually go down to the comments, which suck. Let me try one more thing real quick. Okay, I guess I can't go down to the comments on this one. I want to see if I can bring up another page real quick. Okay, looks like we're not able to bring it up. So let's go ahead and play the last video of the series.
Straight A student and getting certifications like it's nothing. Stop gatekeeping shit, dude. It's not hard to learn cybersecurity. So if you've listened to my content, you'll know that I'm actually not gatekeeping things. And I'm saying that anyone can learn cybersecurity. And I'm saying that as someone who has 0 classroom experience and 0 certifications. That CISSP certification I was talking about is going to be my first certification, but that does require 5 years of field experience before you can get one, 4 years if you have a college degree. But they still want 4 years of field experience before they'll consider you for CISSP. Now, I'm by no means gatekeeping the knowledge, but HR is gatekeeping the jobs. And the fact that you're going about saying that you are a straight A student and getting certifications, but not speaking about the relevant field experience tells me more about how you haven't really gone through this as a career yet. You are just starting your journey. I know a lot of friends right now that have master's degrees and plenty of certifications that are learning the hard way that they want to see relevant IT experience for at least several years before they'll consider you for a cybersecurity position. Can it be done without that? Yes, but it's incredibly difficult without internships, without working different IT jobs. And that's why I tell people you may have to embrace the suck for a while and work help desk or MSP positions before you actually get properly where you want to be in cybersecurity. Trust me, I had to go down that path, but I did it with no classrooms, no certifications, and I'm now just getting my first certification. I'm also by no means trying to say that you have to devote your entire life to cybersecurity. It happened to be a passion of mine, but I am saying that you're going to have to devote additional time throughout your life to improve your skills in this career because cybersecurity is an ever-evolving, ever-changing field. You have to keep up on that knowledge and learn new tactics and techniques that come out. Now, I'm by no means trying to disparage you or anything. I wish you the best in your cybersecurity journey, but there's a lot of hard lessons that a lot of people have to learn going from the classroom to applying for a job. And that's the unfortunate nature of how cybersecurity jobs are right now. You have to get through the criteria HR wants before many times you're often considered for a job.
That was good. That was good. That was good. Nothing but facts. That whole video was nothing but facts. It's a lot. There's a lot I was hearing through this, but again, that was nothing but facts. A big thing that I actually forgot to mention on some of my videos, and he said it, and I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't even think about this. Or I didn't think about, I guess, expressing this. But when I talk about, constantly grinding and whatnot, and you may have to take a pay cut in XYZ, I'm also talking about, hey, you may have to go to a lower position. Like you may want to become a cybersecurity analyst, for example, but you may have to start out, working at IT help desk or working another, lower field before you get into, that cybersecurity analyst, cybersecurity engineer, or, other higher tech positions. Like that's kind of what I'm meant to say when I'm talking about pay cuts and whatnot too. You may just get like a lower job. You may be in that sucky phase for a few months, maybe to a year, so you can grind up to get to the position that you want to be in. Especially in cybersecurity right now, he's talking about the internships. Having that can definitely help out. I definitely agree. I got 2 pretty good places. I think that really helped me out too. Also having the IT background, that can definitely help out so much. Now, again, they're not like, you don't always need all of that. Again, you can luck out. You may already have the knowledge and whatnot, and you may be able to express it very well within interviews. And hey, if that's you, that's great. But having that backup of internships and maybe working in IT and certain things, or maybe IT internship, for example, again, that will not hurt you when you're trying to get into cybersecurity. And I've noticed too that whatever I've learned within tech, it seems like I've been able to apply it to something else. Like I haven't learned anything really, and it's like no relevance whatsoever to anything else. It's like the knowledge I'm getting from this, or the knowledge I'm getting from this, I guess the thinking that I get from doing something, I can use either that practical knowledge or just that knowledge in general on something else. Well, within tech, which I like a lot versus a lot of, I feel like if I went to any other type of field me learning XYZ may not actually help me out if I'm trying to move to this side of things. But I feel like just having that knowledge base within tech, even little small things, I feel like can help you out with larger things. And yeah, your journey maybe of being in that suck mode, that 6 months working that crappy job, or maybe that year working that crappy job, that stuff that you're learning there can actually help you out when you actually get that higher, cybersecurity job. So nothing but facts he was talking about. Let me just briefly go through this. Yeah, he talked about gatekeeping. That's another big one too. He wasn't trying to gatekeep, he was talking about, but that's how other people are, like the HR managers. So you want to make sure your resume and everything looks good to them, because they're going to be like your first barrier, so to speak. So again, having like industry standard or industry known certifications, like in cybersecurity, it might be the Security Plus. If you're kind of go for something maybe more just regular IT help desk type of vibes, it could be A plus, or it could be maybe Network Plus, something along those lines. Having those can help you out with that portion. Again, he said anybody can learn it, or at least a lot of people can learn it. You don't need all these certifications or all this education. Once you actually get to the job, they can teach you a lot. However, you're not going to get to that point because the HR people are your first barriers. So you got to get through that. So having the certifications for that will get you past that point. Again, a lot of the different stuff I learned from like Security Plus, Network Plus, A Plus, all of that doesn't apply to my current job at all. Maybe like bits and pieces of the actual like certification itself. But once you actually get into the job, then they can teach you a lot. But having that on my resume helped me get past that barrier. So you want to get past these barriers. So yeah, that's one big barrier. Internships, having some type of IT background can get you past other barriers, because again, they may be looking for people with experience, or may have the potential to have something that's similar in experience for them. So I definitely agree with that as well. I've kind of talked about that again in a lot of my videos. Zero class, free certifications. You guys are talking about the CISSP. That's another certification that I also want to get. That's like a higher big one. It costs, I think, about $1,000 almost. So yeah, I definitely do got to study on that some more. But yeah, that's another big certification there. And it has other requirements too, like you having like 4 or 5 years experience, even after you pass the certification, for you to actually get it. If you don't have that actual experience at the end, I think you get like a ISC, or you get some type of other certification that shows that you're in progress of getting your CISSP. And let's see what else he's talking about here before you consider for a cybersecurity position. Yeah, we already talked about working, maybe second job, so you can go through the ranks and hopefully get it that way. Improve your skills. Yeah. And I guess we talked about most of this video, but another thing too, when you're kind of ranking yourself up, like if you're working IT for a company, you don't necessarily have to go to another company to get a higher position. You can actually rank up within your company. I've applied to jobs before where it was opening and they gave it to somebody else within the company. So that's something too. Maybe it may be so that 6 months, but they may open up that position there. Like, hey, we got this cybersecurity position open for you. And since you already work for that company, you probably know other people there. You're going to have a leg up over everybody new who aren't in the company applying for the job. So, this is another way to think about it too. If you're, trying to rank up within a company, that's definitely a valid way that you can improve. And that's kind of how I've increased myself in some of my IT, to get to this stage here. So yeah, great video. He was speaking nothing but facts. If you're watching this, go back a few minutes, rewatch this TikTok right here. Nothing but facts. But anyway, guys, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And let me know in the comments, like, your current thoughts about the job market. Do you think it's going to get better 2025? You think it's going to get worse? Definitely intrigued. And let me know what fields you think is going to get better or worse. You think tech is going to get better? Tech is going to get worse? You think other fields are going to get better? You think other fields are going to get worse? Definitely intrigued to hear you guys' thoughts. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.